You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast. Today we're heading to Switzerland to meet someone who's quietly reshaping how businesses actually use AI at work. Please welcome Fabio, team leader for M365 and Power Platform at Red IT, and the guy who's helping teams turn Microsoft Copilot from confusing add-on into a productivity engine. If you've ever opened Copilot and thought, now what? You're not alone. Our guest is on a mission to fix that disappointment. He's helping companies clean up their data chaos and build real use cases. Full links are in the show notes for this episode. Welcome to the show, Fabio.
Hi, Mark. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Really looking forward to having a chat with you and seeing what you're doing in Switzerland in the Copilot space. What have you been doing in the last couple of years specifically in the space, and what are you focused on?
Yeah, so I started out actually as a sales consultant during Corona, during COVID. It was back then the M365 environment, especially the collab part. So how do you use Teams? How do you structure Teams, SharePoint, architecture, governance, things like that. And it really quickly gained my interest. So I didn't just want to talk about it and sell it. I wanted to use it. I wanted to help companies and people, especially in the user adoption part, to use this tool efficiently. And then 2-3 years ago, I think it was like the middle of 2023, Copilot came along. And it also really quickly gained my interest, and I just started to produce some content. Gained a lot of projects as well, where I could really do some workshops, also with the support of Microsoft Switzerland, and dive into this topic of Copilot and drive companies how they can leverage Copilot and AI at the workplace. And ever since, it has become really my passion, because I do really love how this AI topic evolved. Not especially from the technical part, this is also interesting, but especially how companies are adopting it and how the way we are working is changing so fast. And that's where I'm at right now, doing a lot of projects, doing a lot of content, and trying to help companies and people out there leveraging AI at the workplace.
Tell me about resistance. When you're working with companies and individuals, people inherently don't like change. And for the first time in history, we have a piece of technology that the media is telling us it's going to take our jobs. You know, one of the things that I heard at MVP Summit, which I thought was, very poignant, was that when somebody said, listen, we're going to start using Microsoft Teams like in COVID because we're all working remote, nobody feared that Teams was going to take their job. And now we're in an environment where we're told, hey, AI is going to take your job, but hey, everybody needs to use it and, become productive. There could be a fear, a risk. How are you dealing with that resistance that you come across in the various companies that you engage with? Are you seeing it, or is it is more something in the media than reality?
In practice, I don't see that a lot. I've never seen it, actually, if I'm honest, because we humans are looking always for something new. So we are looking for the new shit. We're looking to evolve ourselves, especially the young folks in globally, I think. And for me, it hasn't changed a lot since COVID or since Teams. Because what I always said, even in my sales and account manager days, I always say to each C-level, to each end user, it doesn't depend on what cool technology you develop or you deploy. You can have the coolest technology and the coolest tool. If the end users don't know how to adapt it and how to use it efficiently, it doesn't make any sense and you gain nothing from it. And this was with Teams, this was with SharePoint, and this is now with Copilot. For me, Copilot is not a technical project or an IT project. It is, for one, a strategic project. Do I want to leverage AI in the future? Is Microsoft the right technology stack on where I want to go when I go to this AI journey? And how do I how can my end users learn how to leverage and use AI? And this is something that's the same thing as in March 2020 when everybody had to go home and work remotely. Yeah, we have now Teams, which is a cool technology, but uh, a lot of company had chaos because the people just started to use to create teams, to create channels and things like that. And we consultants had a lot of projects that we could do like this because we knew we had to put in some governance behind it. But it's the same thing now with Copilot. But regarding the loss of jobs, I think this is more of a media kind of thing. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world. In Switzerland, it's not so much a topic because we have here a big startup culture, and a lot of startups that are growing right now and they're coming out of the woods are regarding AI. So also there's something called Fin AI, I think. So for the financing part of the economy, a lot of Fin AI startups are coming up. And so here in Switzerland, it is really something that it's not viewed as a threat, but it's viewed as an opportunity. And that is something really, really cool.
One of the things I noticed one of your posts is around Copilot feeling underwhelming for some people. What were you referring to there?
Yeah, there are several ways to address this. I love to use my catchphrase, and my catchphrase is, it is called Copilot, not Autopilot. So this is something that comes to mind when they think of Copilot. Yeah, he does all the work for me. No, he doesn't. And with each thing that you generate, with each content that you generate, be it a text, be it an image, be it a graphic, whatever, be it a presentation in PowerPoint, you always have to look through it. It isn't finished when Copilot generates it. And the main thing that I always tell my customers is, look, you are with this approach with generating with Copilot and then refine it. You are much faster than if you would build it from scratch in manual form, as we note or as we knew from the last 1 or 2 years. And this is one part that I'm approaching it. So gaining or providing some kind of awareness to lower or not to lower the expectations. It's okay to have high expectations, but to meet the realistic expectations. That's one part. The other part is, yes, regarding prompting, because what a lot of people don't understand is that Copilot has a lot of security and compliance boundaries within. That is built with Microsoft, which is absolutely the right way, in my opinion. In comparison to ChatGPT, to Perplexity, to Gemini, it is much more tight or tightened by these boundaries, and it cannot be as creative as ChatGPT is, for example. And this is the main reason why we as end users have to help Copilot to give good answers, and we help him in terms of we give him precise, detailed instructions in the prompt on how we are expecting the answer of Copilot that he has to generate us, and that's the main reason why. I think it was the day before yesterday, I did a session in the topic of the European AI Act, which was which is there since August last year. And one resolution of the AI Act is it has to be user-friendly. And in the user-friendly, I give Copilot a little subtraction, so it doesn't meet the resolution 100%, in my opinion, because of this limitation. Because we as end users have to be precise. We have to spend time on our prompt in order to gain a good response from Copilot. And this is something that's not quite user-friendly, but it has its purpose. And this is also something that has to do with the expectations. Yeah, I put one prompt, one sentence in Copilot. I put the same prompt in ChatGPT, and 95% of the time, ChatGPT gives me a better answer subjectively. And this is the main reason why. This is something that I always work on and try to gain awareness in my community and in my network that it has its reasons.
Interesting. You mentioned the EU AI Act.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you, when you're talking with customers, what else are you highlighting in regards to the use of AI within the enforcement of that act comes in around August or September this year? What discussions are you having in regards to it?
Microsoft is more going to the way of Copilot Dashboard and Viva Insights Analytics. This is what they want to leverage. But my customers are more looking into compliance solutions from Purview. So I have a lot of discussions around Microsoft Purview. And especially we are talking about two main things. The one thing is the logging of the prompts within Copilot. This is possible with the activation of e-discovery within Microsoft Purview, so that admins and also leaders can look into how Copilot is used and what prompts are used to which time. This is also something really big with auditing. So here in Switzerland, we have a lot of auditing going on, and there can be situations where the auditor wants to have these logs. This is more a topic that we are talking about. And the second topic is also regarding Purview on how to control that users don't put sensitive data or sensitive documents into AI solutions like ChatGPT or Gemini. There you have also solutions like the Data Security Posture Management, DSPM for AI in Purview, which we are, or which there are projects in my environment that I'm working in to put that up or to configure that. And this is more the discussions that I have. On top, of course, of the user adoption and giving awareness on, hey, we have here sensitive data. Please look that you don't upload it into ChatGPT, for example, because it is outside our boundaries. And this is something that's really going on. Also, the topic of sensitivity labels, which is the basic of doing these kind of policies in the DSPM. These are the discussions that I have with my customers regarding compliance and ethical using as ethical use of Copilot and AI.
What are the wins that you're seeing? Like, without mentioning company names and things, like, where you're seeing kind of like real breakthroughs around perhaps taking the customer from being more productive, being more efficient, being more effective. Where are you seeing that kind of, or, do you have any examples of really some breakthroughs and stuff that have been quite exciting?
For me, the biggest one is the basic one. The organizations look at Microsoft 365 differently now that they are aiming for the implementation of Copilot. Now they see and they know how they have to structure M365, how permission models are important, how compliance solutions within Purview are important. This is something really basic, but a lot of people are now leveraging these Microsoft 365 solutions in order to be able to use Copilot. So this is the biggest win that I've seen in the last few months, I have to admit. Nevertheless than using Copilot, of course, this is a totally different topic, but this is something that I see a lot, that Microsoft 365, Teams architecture, collaboration, permission models, etc., are being seen differently now, and in a positive way. This is something that I experienced, and in my projects that I have like 3 or 4 Copilot agents projects going on right now. So it's more like the Copilot Studio part. And I see that we are a team of like 6 or 7 people that is really specialized in Power Platform. And now the biggest wins is when they are building agents like that, we can build it with some topics that or some actions that have some automation behind it, and to see how we can leverage these Power Platform components within agents to serve specific use cases or specific purpose, and to see how our customers react when this automation works. This is something really, really great, because this is something that they see a lot of a lot of benefit for them, rather than just deploying M365 Copilot. And there, this is also something that that I see a lot of benefits and a lot of positive reactions from my customers.
I like it. Tell me about how you personally use it. Forget about work, forget about but like in life, and let's drop the term Copilot. Let's say the use of AI. What's your even in the last 6 weeks, what has kind of been a unique discovery that you've made? I'm not really looking for what you do all the time, because I feel for me personally, it changes all the time. I discover a new way of doing something. But for you, what have kind of your where you felt like you've gone to a next level of depth in what you can do with that kind of collaborative relationship between you and AI?
Is in PowerPoint, and there the connection with the organization asset library is something that I really liked doing, because it takes the building of presentations, or even building the templates, to a whole other level, that you can connect Copilot with your organization asset library in SharePoint, which I think it's a really big win. The other thing that I saw, I have to think about it. Yeah, the translation also in PowerPoint, that it can translate whole presentations into another language, which I totally love. I tried it today in Word. I have a document that I have to have translated in English. It doesn't work even with the Copilot chat, so I'm looking forward for that one too. But I have one thing that I was a little bit disappointed in. This was the Copilot Actions. They were published, I think, like 2 months ago, and just 2 weeks. There was a message in the message center, because the feedback of the customers was not so good, because Copilot Actions were a little bit static, not so dynamically. You couldn't use your own prompts for building these actions, and now Microsoft took them away in order to integrate them into the scheduled prompts, which will be available in Copilot Chat. Aren't yet, because they are in private preview or public preview, if I'm not mistaken. And this is something that I was disappointed, but where we also see how dynamically and how fast this technology is evolving. That's why I totally understand your question. But the biggest part for me was really the PowerPoint, or the organization asset library, to connect this, as well as the interpreter agent. This is also something that I really loved, but they took it away as well. It's gone.
I've virtually done nothing with PowerPoint apart from day one when it first came out, and I was like, it looks like it creates 1980s PowerPoints. And I've never gone back to using Copilot within PowerPoint again. But now you've talked about that asset library, I find interesting, because I think there's a model in companies where you could take a presentation deck and pull it apart to almost a grouping of slides. Let's say a topic takes 5 slides to deliver. Could we take those 5 slides and just put them into a SharePoint location? Could we create our intro slides? And if we have, specific staff's faces and that gets updated, well, we've just got one slide. We can just pull it in no matter which presentation we're going to do. And I think that is super cool. I've never set it up. I don't know if that is possible, what I'm asking to do, but I think it would be very powerful.
Kind of is. So what came with the Wave 2 in October last year was the so-called narrative builder. So you don't create presentations within the chat like it was in the beginning. You get a new mask. And this new mask gets you first the structure of the PowerPoint presentation. So what it does is it gives you sections. And in each sections you have like 3, 4, 5 slides, depends what topic it is. And now with the connection of the organization asset library in this narrative builder, in this mask on the below, you can choose the designs. So the problem that we have right now is that we can only use one specific design for the whole presentation. So your idea with the intro slide and everything like this as a template doesn't work right now because it's just based on one template, the narrative builder. But you can leverage those templates because there is also a new function that is called add a new slide with Copilot. So you can add a new slide. It opens you up the narrative builder, and then you can use also a specific file, for example, such an intro template that you have, and you can add this file, and it creates, based on the topic that you put into your prompt, 1, 2, or 3 additional files within the presentation with the narrative builder. And I think this is totally a different experience that it was in March or April last year. This wasn't well done. I would say it worked sometimes, but not really good. And now with the narrative builder, it's a totally different experience and really great.
I'm going to go take a look at it. As we come to wrap up, what was your journey to becoming an MVP?
That's an interesting one. As a teenager, I always wanted to become a journalist or a sports commentator. So even when I was 11 or 12 years old, I already wrote articles for our local newspaper. So I love to write. I love to stand in front of people and standing in front of the camera. As I said in the beginning, in early 2020, the Microsoft 365 topic gained my interest. And in order to stay on top and to stay ahead, especially in my consulting days, I had to update myself. So I started to look into the message center. I started to look at blogs. I started to go onto conferences like Build or Ignite. And I thought to myself, when I'm already doing this for myself and gaining all this information, why don't I use this information and produce content with it, or write about it, or do a video about it, because I love to do it anyway. So I kind of connected those two passions, the passion of writing, speaking, standing in front of people, and the passion of Microsoft 365 and later then Copilot. And then it came like this. And I believe I was at the right topic to the right time at the right channels. When somebody from Microsoft then nominated me as MVP, and it worked like that. So it wasn't my goal. I've heard from MVP, like the first time I heard of it was in 2022, I think. For me, it was doing something good for the community. It was doing something that I really love to do. So this was the combination, and it went well, obviously.
Obviously. So good. Fabio, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, same. Likewise. Thank you for having me, Mark.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parves, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guide.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.